Chris Miller from Monumental Sports. What's up, Chris? How you doing, brother?
Christopher.
I'm great, man. What's going on, fellas? Good
What
to hear
up?
from you.
Man, you know what? We have to find out what's going on with the Wiz, and I figured I'll reach out to my little big bro and find out exactly how you think they did last night.
I thought they got an A. I mean, listen, you come away with 3 first-round picks, 2 in the lottery, and I think you addressed a lot of needs. Now, as our good friend Doc Walkers would say, we got puppies. These are babies that are coming in here, 18 and 19 years old. So, you're going to have to wait on them. But I think what they got last night, obviously with Sarr, positional size at that 5 position, might be the best player in the draft. You were able to get him at 2, and he wanted to be here. I mean, he made it clear he wanted to come to D.C. I love his size, 7'1", 7'4" wingspan. And he's played against grown men since he's 15 years old. So I don't think the lights are going to be too bright for him when he gets to the NBA because he's kind of been a professional for a while now. I look at Bub Carrington, and I got to be honest with you guys. He's from Baltimore. I have an affinity for guys. They play hoop in Charm City. I just love their toughness, the way they get after it. He's the cousin of Rudy Gay, plays point guards, got good size. Think about this. His first game he ever played in college last year for Pitt, he gave North Carolina A&T a triple-double. So that's kind of how he introduced himself to college basketball. And to finish it off was Keyshawn George, who's 6'8", can play guard, can play wing. All 3 of these guys can defend and score. So, again, I give the Wizards an A for what they were able to do last night.
When you look at the new group right now, Chris, that are making all these moves and things, how comfortable are you, and what's the major difference? Because they seem to, like, if you didn't know their game plan, you could just follow their moves and pick it up.
Well, what I say about them is they hold their cards to the vest, and I give them a lot of respect for that because really good organizations don't blab and talk about what they're trying to do. They just close their mouth and get to work. The other thing I'm impressed with is they get their passport stamped. I mean, they'll go anywhere to recruit and to scout a player. I don't care where they are. They'll go and see them. And in the NBA now, guys, you have to have international scouting or you're going to get left behind. And I think with Michael Winger and Will Dawkins in their scouting department, these guys are not afraid, again, to get that passport stamp to go check a guy out. And you think about it. I mean, they went and found Bilal last year in France. They got Sarr. This kid, George, played high school basketball in France. So they're not afraid to go overseas, but I also give them respect for just going up the street in Baltimore to go find a kid.
How about Kuz? Are you surprised that he's still here, and how long do you think he'll remain a Wizard?
Well, he's a Wizard now, Doc, and I don't know the plan, but for a guy like him, I mean, he has to look at this and go, okay, is my timeline on the same timeline as this team? The Wizards are clearly going younger. So, again, I don't know what the plan is moving forward, but I can talk about what happened last night.
Yeah.
What happened last night is they got younger, and down the road, Doc, I think they got better.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Chris, you mentioned that they are not afraid to get their passport stamp, and they travel and they visit all those people. The American player, okay? And we know how the AAU circuit is. I don't like this team. I quit and I go to another team. But those guys over there, France had 4 people picked last night, okay? First round. Are we starting to allow the rest of the world to catch up too quick? And we are now still being pampered? Is it going to be a problem here in a few more years?
BMitch, this is just me. I have not had anyone tell me this. I just have 2 eyes for a reason. I can see things. We need to do a much better job in our country of identifying young talent and being able to develop them. Because what I am seeing with these international players is they come over here, and first of all, they're thankful for the opportunity. That's 1. 2, they don't have a lot of medical red flags because they're not playing 5 games in 2 nights or how many games that they're playing. And I think the level of skill is at a really high level for these kids that are coming over here. And again, all you got to do is listen. I do it every night. I call a game every night. I can't tell you how many international players I say their names. And the one thing I notice about them is they have a skill set that is They can do two things. They can defend, they can rebound, they can block shots, they can box out. They're good teammates. So there's a lot of things that they're bringing to the table. And this is the reason why NBA executives are now going overseas finding those players. So if I can talk to our kids here at home and the people that are around them, pay attention to what's going on because it's happening in real time.
Yep. And I think, like you said, they're young. But that young kid has been playing against grown-ass men for 5 years.
Yeah.
So a young 19-year-old coming from Europe is far more along than a young 19-year-old from the United States.
Yeah, no helicopter parent.
Yeah.
These kids got to get on a plane and go be alone. Much younger than our kids. And it's not about the bling bling and all that. I'm overwhelmed by it. It caught me a little bit off guard in terms of how many of them. And the Olympics now even has more meaning to me, and seeing us now not being as dominant as I thought we once were. Now it's a question mark.
You know, Doc, think about Alex Sarr, the kid that was drafted last night for Washington.
Mm-hmm.
He left home at 15 and went to Spain.
Yeah.
It gets better. He then comes over to the States for 2 years and plays for Overtime Elite in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And then he still wanted another opportunity. Then he goes to Australia and plays for Perth in the NBL. You think about, I joke about the passport being stamped. This kid's like 19 years old. He's been to places I've never been.
Me too.
To go get a run and to go get some seasoning. Right. So again, when he comes over here, listen, I'm not saying this guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame, but what I am saying is when he comes here tomorrow, whenever he gets here and he starts getting to work, it's not going to be overwhelming to him.
Yeah. And I also think that hunger, that parent is saying, look, son, go make a way. The parents here, they want to attach to the kid.
Mm-hmm.
They won't let him make those moves. So I think the parents have to do like your parents, like my parents did. My parents like, look, man, you want to go do it, go do it. But they wasn't going to be there with me every step of the way, all in my damn way, like a lot of parents here are. You got to learn to let loose a little bit because you can't coach them.
Yeah, I love, like at the NBA draft, I love the guys that stay in the stands with their family.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that seeing that team, that whole team that comes there and doesn't go down in the pit. Nothing wrong with the pit and those that do and take that moment. But I'm starting to see now that there's a lot of people to sacrifice for these guys to get there, a lot like the European players who, when you
Doc,
go away from 15, they're sacrificing.
Yeah. Doc and BMitch, I think you'll appreciate this, being parents, is one of my favorite parts of the NBA draft is not breaking down the talent of the player and what's his height and reach and, is he the best shooter?
Yeah.
It's actually draft night watching the parents, watching, the college coach or the AAU coach or whoever, and to see the friends and the siblings that are around these people. We all know it takes, I hate to say this, it almost takes a village to get these kids to this point. There's so many people that are responsible for getting these kids to this moment. And now they're one of just 450 people on the planet that can call themselves NBA players. It's just to see their face when the commissioner calls their name and the reactions and, mama's crying, daddy's crying, everybody's crying. It's just a really cool moment for me. And last night was my 25th time covering the NBA draft. It never gets old seeing that reaction.
Who was the kid last night? Chris had a gray suit on. I think his dad played in the league. His dad played for the Pistons, I think it was.
I can see the snapshot, can't put the name to the face.
Yeah, because watching those two together,
the old school, old school had salt and pepper goatee.
It
I
showed,
can see it. Yeah,
Carter was his name. Carter, yeah, Carter.
Oh, Anthony Carter's boy.
Yes,
Devin Carter.
All right.
So watching that relationship and watching, you could tell his dad basically guided him, but allowed him to go do his
Yeah.
thing. He didn't get in the way. And his dad played 13 damn years in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Imagine all the parents that get in the way that didn't play a second.
It's millisecond, right? But they experts though. Just ask them. Yeah.
But I'm serious though. Like last night, I was writing notes and I was like, the backstories. The kid from Duke who brother couldn't play anymore because some blood clots.
Yeah.
All those backstories, that stuff
TikTok,
mesmerized me,
yeah.
dog.
Yeah. It was a positive side to TikTok with him.
Yeah.
I love that, man. That was they do a great job, and you're right. See, because you've done it, and this your 25th at it, yeah, and this it's a beautiful assignment and work. Yeah, 25 years. Woo.
Half of my life I've been covering this doggone draft. That's crazy, right?
And you deserve combat pay covering the Wizards. I mean,
what's the idea tonight, Chris? They got round 2 now. What are they looking for in the next round?
Well, I know that the Wizards are going to be busy just to see if they can get back into the second round because, they gave up their 51st to get George with that deal with the Knicks. So the Wizards currently don't have a second round pick. But you know what tonight is. Tonight is where does Bronny James end up getting drafted? That's the story of the second round.
That was the story of the first round.
First round. You ain't lying, man.
It wasn't the story for me because I didn't think he'd get drafted in the first round.
I didn't either. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. Now, I did have a petty moment last night. You guys know how I am. Doc, you'll appreciate this as a Laker fan. I was telling a buddy, I said, what would be really cool if the Clippers drafted Bronny?
Oh, man. I didn't even think of that. Oh, man.
You know what I'll tell you who's going to get drafted, though, when he come along. Bryce.
Beast.
I like him. Yes, sir.
He can play, bro.